Okay, so several years ago, a coworker of mine gave me some tools out of his father's shed, garage, wherever, when he was clearing the stuff out. And one of them was an old auger bit set collection. I mean, I got several auger bits out of it, and included was this box, which was literally falling apart. So I can't, if I got the lid with it, I don't know where it is. It was hinged back here. You might be able to see the hinges on the video. But the hinges are broken. I think the lid was gone. This top shelf is coming apart, and you see that is where it housed, several of the smaller auger bits. And then there was this door here on the front, hinged over on this side here. Hinges are broken, and you see that's how easy it fell apart when I got it. Anyway, this whole top shelf section, this was nailed and glued to the front. This whole top shelf was glued and nailed to this front piece, as well as this piece over here, which I believe was for screwdriver bits, Phillips head, and a slotted screwdriver, and or maybe even files for sharpening. I think it's more likely a screwdriver bit. And those were fixed in there, and they had fallen out, and they obviously came apart. The lower half of the box, I'll try to reconstruct it here, was hinged, and it would open, and when you open it up, this trough here, section for the larger bits, came in there, and you can see it's all coved out, routed out, pretty worn, and it was glued to the front door right here, and that glue failed. No glue in the back. And what was interesting on the floor of this, which basically is just a box of box joints, were these little shims, and they were wedged. They were tapered in the front. You can see that there, tapered in the front. So I guess the weight of this one tray, weight from the auger bits, as it swung open, it probably sagged a little bit, and these little shims were set up here to hold its weight and support its weight, so it didn't put too much stress on the hinges of the door. And it probably served its purpose, but like you can see, the whole box is just literally falling apart. Box joints here in the corners, probably done by a machine, pretty nicely done. Hinges were real cheap. I don't know where they came from or much about them, but they did not stand the test of time. These hinges here on the back, if I can get a better light for you, as you can see, kind of cheap as well. Nailed in, all the nails were coming out. Just pretty bad shape. And the bottom of the box was just this piece of, looks like probably pine, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell what wood it is. There's some clue here on the front. One of these doors, you actually get some, that I don't think is pine. You kind of get some Rayflex in there. I don't know if you can see it very well. Maybe this is beech. Kind of looks like beech a little bit. Here on the back side you can see some interesting grain. But anyway, it fell apart. And so I had this nice set of auger bits that I cleaned up. They were all rusty, but I got rid of all the rust by doing I forget how I got rid of the rust. But anyway, I got rid of the rust. And I created a box, which I hope does it justice, that I made to try to duplicate it, at least in size anyway, almost as exactly as I can as the previous one. I made a lid, attached it with hinges. This is all southern yellow pine, by the way, that came from a my front porch. I had to replace the whole decking on the front porch, and it was a southern yellow pine. And most of it was good. I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw it away. I'll make some use out of it. So I made the box. And in here, you'll see the complete set. Well, this is only a fraction of the auger bits that I got. He actually had many more than this. But as you can see, these are all in pretty decent shape. Sorry for jostling the camera around. These are all pretty decent shape. That file did not come with it. I ordered that online. But all of the auger bits are all in pretty good shape, and they're all numbered. One of these, that one right there, even has a stamp on it. It says JW, I don't think about getting the focus for you, but it says JW PUGH, PUGH, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's all the auger bits on the top of the box. And so I found these hinges online. They're a little bit wider on one leaf than the other, which allowed me to reach around the side of the box. Now, that's not how the original box was. The door was secured to the original box, but it was about as close as I could replicate with the hardware and tools and stuff I had available to me. A cheap little hasp here on this side for opening, and this opens up to display the larger auger bits. And here's one of the bits that actually, let's see if I can get you a view of it, where you can see, anyway, right there it says, yeah, it's done. JW PUGH, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It also shows up really well on this one up here. It's probably even easier to read. Anyway, trust me. JW PUGH, number 8 auger bit, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So the actual box construction, I dovetailed here on the front dovetailed there on the front, as well as over here on this side. That's dovetailed. The sides of the box are dovetailed as well. I made somewhat of a raised panel lid. As you can see, it's just held on back with 2 hinges rather than the 3 that were on the box originally. The bottom of the box is, there were, again, several pieces of the wood decking for my porch glued together. And what I did, I rabbited them, and where they attach to the front, the sides attached to the bottom. I'm sorry, the sides attached to the bottom in the rabbet. So that's how it plays out. Got a nice auger bit set. Now I'm more into hand tool woodworking. I've already made use of several of these, and hopefully they should last for the next person somewhere down the road. Okay, thank you.